O whanno, whanno, hara mai te toki. Haumie, huie, kaiki ye. Ngā ngā tamiriki ārangi nui, me papa tūnuku kapu tamatau. Ki ta whai ao, ki te ao māra mai. O, tane mahuta atua o te ngā here. O, tūma tauenga atua o te riri. O, ta whiri matea atua o te hau. O, tangaroa atua o te mawana. Ia, ha, ha. Ko enei atua te mana motu ake ao. Tātou, tipuna e. Rongo mai tāne haumi e. Tiki tiki. Korua moko. Kora pupu. Ana te wai. Ruana te whanua e. Io matua kore anake. Hei! Whakatakata hau ki te uru, whakatakata hau ki te tonga. Kia mā kine kine ki uta, kia mā taratara ki tai. E hia kina te atakura, he tio, he hoka, hei hauhu, tihei, Māori ora. Kia ora, my name is Tuari Dawson. I am Māori, and I am from Aotearoa, sometimes known as New Zealand. And it's been my pleasure to be able to come and share something about my culture, about being Māori, our history, our tradition, about our connection to the sea, to the land, to the winds, to the earth, to the forest, and most especially to each other. And one of the mediums in which we connect is the martial arts. And the martial arts are really about protection and service, and performed in a way that preserves part of our culture, our language, our heritage, and our values. I'm teaching the art of maurako or taiaha. Rako refers to the weapon and what it's made of, and the idea that we all have stories. So you can see about my body, I wear the traditional art of tāmoko or tātau. And the tattooing of our face and our body is representative of our story, our tribal groups, the stories of our people, the historical and the traditional, plus also what we call te ao hurihuri. Te ao kohatu is the ancient world. Te ao hurihuri is the changing world, the modern world. And each mark, each swirl, each indentation tells a story, much like you would probably read in a book, but we, as an unwritten culture traditionally, we tell our stories through art, through carving, and within our skins. For a lot of Māori people traditionally, we, because of the oppression that our people suffered, we started to believe that our lot in life was to be labourers. And to that end, when I was a young kid who could neither read nor write, I left school and I went to work at what people call an abattoir or a slaughterhouse. And I remember going there and learning to use a broom. And I remember my father said to me, you know, in 15 years or so, you'll go off the broom and they'll give you an actual knife. And there's nothing dishonourable or wrong about doing that work. That is important work. And any person who works hard for their family should be treated with honour. But I think I always felt like I wanted to do stuff that extended beyond the Pacific and really talked about the idea that we could be more than we ever dreamed, and more than the world perhaps at times leads us to believe we can be. Catch your rhythm, catch your rhythm, catch the rhythm. Part of the challenge of being Māori is sometimes from other people, and it is because people think that if you are distinct, that somehow you are separate. What makes me distinct is not what makes me separate, it's what makes me distinct. So, as an example, in Aotearoa in New Zealand, I was getting on a plane, the name of which is Air New Zealand, and their motif is a Māori motif, and there was a group of passengers who refused to sit next to me because of my tamoko. Now, for me, I see that as a challenge in the sense that people don't want to or are frightened to expand their boundaries in terms of what they believe is normal and good. And we miss human experiences when we don't take the time to connect even with people that perhaps look different, speak differently, or have a different belief. So when it comes to language and culture, our own culture and our language was oppressed by a thing called the Tohunga Suppression Act, which happened in the early part of the 19th century, which forbade us, in a sense, from being able to practice our traditional arts, and our language was suppressed. But what is most important is that within the language is our healing, our stories, and practicing the martial arts that helps to keep our language alive and helps us to remember who we are and the power of not being separate, but of being distinct. So as I'm sitting here on the beach, I'm reminded of a waiata, or a song. And this song comes from a people known as tainui. And tainui is a reference to the tides, tainui, the large tide. And this waiata, or the song, talks about the different kinds of tides and how that when you stand on the beach, the feet that touch the water are the feet that touches the water that touches other people. So we're not separated by water, we're connected by it, and thus the people of the sea. So the waiata goes like this. Ko te aroa anō he o wai, e pupu ake ana, he aua he mā puna mai ana, I roto I te whatu manawa. Ko tōna mata puna he honu, ai nā ka rere anō. Ko tōna mata puna he honu, ai nā ka rere anō. He tai timu, he tai pare, he tai ope, he tai roa, he tai nui, he tai nui, he tai nui. He tai nui, he tai nui, he tai nui.